Welcome to Photo Finds. I am your host Kevin. This week we are getting started on International Drive. We are currently at the location of a former Goodings. This is in the Mercado, or one-time Mercado shopping area, and it will soon be the location of a King's bowling alley. Now what you're looking at over here is a covered but outdoor bocce court, something a little bit unique among the Orlando attractions. There isn't even very many of those in Central Florida to begin with. They'll have a kind of bar area with outdoor access as well, just inside. A larger restaurant area, and we're looking at the restaurant area here from the side. The lanes are off on the back, and as you can see, things are currently still under construction. They're targeting an April 15th opening. They'll have 22 lanes, and here's a look at some of those lanes under construction. The lanes are regulation sized, and the approach is regulation as well, something that the similarly appointed Splitsville in downtown Disney cannot boast. Its lanes are a little bit shorter. Its approach is definitely a lot shorter. And so this is going to be kind of a more upscale bowling alley on International Drive that will not have some of those problems that you see at Splitsville. As you can see, they've got kind of a 1950s theme to it, maybe a classic lounge look to it. But upscale, again, is the main point they're aiming for. And they do have a lot of plans in mind for the menu. They want upscale menu items. Ribeye steak is the most expensive thing on the menu at $22. Most of the entrees, they said, will be down as low as $8 and in the teens for most of them. There's a view of the bar area with basically a full surrounding of HD TVs in the bar area. Kind of a more overview shot as you can see it there. So this will take us back outside, looking again at the bocce court, and then you'll see the signs announcing that it's coming later in 2013. Now this past weekend was the MegaCon convention, which is an anime, science fiction, comic book type convention in the convention center, where it was enormously crowded, as you can see, and a lot of the focus for many people, in addition to the vendors with things like comics for sale and knives, as it turns out, prop knives, I hope, is the cosplay, so the costume play. Everything from anime characters or Minecraft, as you see here. People, these again are vendors, things that they're looking for sale, anime and manga oriented. A lot of people roaming the sales floor and just engaging in various kinds of role play, dressing up, and just for taking picture purposes. There's an Indiana Jones and a Belle right next to each other, lightsaber poking out of this guy's backpack. It's really kind of anything goes at a place like this, and it's an interesting environment to go soak in for a day. It wasn't very expensive. We were there to see the Star Trek Next Generation panel, which had all 7 of the main characters from Star Trek Next Generation, which is an unusual thing to have on stage all at once. Denise Crosby came by as one of the special guests. There's Michael Dorn there. And one of the other special guests was John Delancey, or Q, which you'll see in a moment here at the very end of the set of slides of the regular 7. There's Q. We are switching our attention to Disney's Hollywood Studios, where Disney Junior went through a change a few weeks ago. We're a little late in covering this one, and as you can see, the mural out front has changed as well. There's these 2 characters, Doc McStuffins and Sophia the First, are the new ones, and here's the Sophia set and what it looks like. I have to say this was not a show I was already familiar with. The little skit here revolved around the use of magic and believing in yourself. It wasn't imminently tied into the larger storyline about a birthday surprise for Minnie Mouse, but then I don't know if the other ones were either that replaced it. What's been replaced is Little Einsteins and Winnie the Pooh, I think it was, for the other one. So this is the Doc McStuffins one. Again, another show I wasn't really familiar with ahead of time. There's our Doc. And she assists the lamb with some kind of medical procedure to make her feel better, resulting in bubbles falling down everywhere. Now, what I'm taking a picture of here is not just the PhotoPass person, but this window frame that they've got here. They ask people to hold the frame, and then they frame it, of course, against the larger backdrop, and then this becomes something that they can manipulate a little bit easier in the once they have it digitally in front of them. We are at the AFI shop, looking in at the AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies display, which, as you can see, has a lot of smaller artifacts. Many of them tied to movies that you may have heard of before. There's an entire West Side Story artifact display case there. At the front of the exhibit, you'll see Titanic as well, and Gone with the Wind, and North by Northwest as the featured items. But the exact items can be just a little bit mundane in their presentation. This is a sweater, a hooded sweater from 8 Mile, it looks like. Some pants, Gone with the Wind's curtain dress, but as you can see, this was one of the well-known, this is one of the reproductions of the well-known original gown. So it's just a reproduction that they're showing you. Here's what it looks like when you're looking at it. Superman's cape, I think one of the production models. Godfather Part 2, Vito Corleone's suit. This is one of the lifeboats from Titanic. There's other Titanic exhibits as well. I think I've previously shown that, but we're back here because some of the exhibits have been added since that first display began a few weeks ago, almost 2 months ago. And still it looks like one of the walls is missing something, or I don't know why it's highlighted with all those colors or with the spotlights if it's just going to be colored black like that. So more of the props down on the side, and then we're taking a look now at the Pixar Pals Countdown to Fun parade. We're taking a picture of this parade not because it's new, but because it's leaving. The rumor mill has it, and it's been confirmed by several cast members that I know, that this parade is on its way out at some point in April. I'm not sure if that meant the beginning or the end of April. Hasn't been officially announced to the rest of the world, but have it on good authority, so I thought I would take the pictures just in case. I do enjoy this, Davison, of course, being the lead designer of the parade, and injected a kind of tribute to himself. And this is one of the several parades in a row that have celebrated Pixar characters in various types, and this float, I think, it specifically has been used in a couple of different of these parades. The Block Party Bash was one of them, and Pixar Play Parade is the one that's now playing at Disney's California Adventure. As you can see, it's a lot of Disney Pixar characters, almost exclusively. Perhaps actually it is exclusively. It ends with Lotso and that Toy Story float. Now this caught my eye. I don't know how long it's been there because I don't go to this park quite that often, but this backdrop was once upon a time very dark, and now it's very light. And so they've obviously changed something about the nature of the backdrop. I didn't go look at the old pictures to see what else has changed, but certainly that mural and the painted mural in the background has. Speaking of changes, we're in the Great Movie Ride, where in addition to the chessboard from Star Wars, something that they cycle in and out, I've seen it in there before, they've now got the shirt from Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. An odd choice to put in a Disney theme park, but I guess it certainly matches the theme of the movies. And I recently read up about this. This is in the rafters of the loading zone of the Great Movie Ride. And this is a photo of Cb Demille, Cecil DeMille, who is, of course, the famous director and referenced as CB in the spiel for the ride. So he's the one who yells action and cut at the beginning and end of the ride. And there's a little photo of him, really just a photocopy, pasted up in the rafters. Interesting tribute. Speaking of tributes, this was the Toon Patrol Weasel's car, once used in Roger Rabbit. This is at the Backlot Express restaurant, and it's been missing for some time. I went looking for it recently and confirmed that it was not here. And yet now it has reappeared in the restaurant's outdoor patio, although without the Toon Patrol insignia on the side. So apologies for the blurry picture. This is outside of the Great Movie Ride. Another car has appeared in a courtyard. And in fact, there's yet another car over on the Sunset Boulevard area. So they've started putting cars back into the street atmosphere, something that was there in the early years of the park as Disney MGM Studios. This caught my wife's eye. This is outside of Disney's Hollywood Studios. These characters are, in fact, not just Mickey and Minnie and Donald and all of them. They are meant to be the walk-around versions of these characters. So if you look closely at Donald, for instance, he's wearing shoes, which implies that he's the walk-around version. And Pluto is getting down on all fours to get down to the level of a guest visiting. So it's a theme park kind of exclusive piece of merchandise, an interesting one because it references the Fab Five, but it is about the parks. It was St. Patrick's Day, so we took a picture of the cupcake for sale at Backlot Express. And also noticed that they had these buffalo chicken wings, or nuggets, I guess, extremely spicy or hot. I don't know how long those have been on the menu, but it's probably been several months. At the Tatooine Traders, the exit to Star Tours, this kind of koosh ball themed Star Wars thing caught my eye, as did the Darth Vader t-shirts. Darth Vader saying most impressive because he's visiting a Disney park. This goes back to the Star Tours promotional campaign when it was new, and Darth Vader was touring around Disneyland at the time, hoping that the ride was open. And so they've obviously made some t-shirts out of it, which I thought was a great idea. That brings us to the end of another week, and we thank you as always for paying attention. We'll be back next week with more parks, and we'll catch you next time.